And if you can be comfortable with being uncomfortable, then you
Right.
can do anything.
What's up, dudes? My name is Leia. This is Matt.
Hello.
And you're listening to our podcast where you get to listen to our honest conversations on the road as we travel to all 48 continental United States.
And welcome to Getting to Know Us. That's hard for me to do while I'm driving.
It's really hard.
That's probably swerving.
Probably. Okay, all right. Back to navigation for you. Okay, so where are we now on the road and what's happening? So Matthew is driving, I'm in the passenger seat. We are 52 minutes from Fort Worth, Texas, where we are going to enjoy pre-made sandwiches that we made at Shiva's grandmother's and aunt's house in Oklahoma.
Sponsored by Shiva's relatives.
Yeah, and then we are on our way to Austin for the 4th of July.
Today is the 3rd of July.
Today's the 3rd of July. Yeah, wow.
What day is today? Is today like our 8th day?
I don't even know.
Today's the 7th day.
Honestly, I should really...
Today is the 7th day.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. Just a little bit. Okay, so where did we just come from?
We just came from Oklahoma, Norman, Oklahoma.
That is where Oklahoma University is. It's a very residential, green place. We were there for not very long because we just arrived last night.
It's a green place, but it's a red state.
Cricket.
Actually, piggybacking off the horrible joke I just made, actually, there was surprisingly a ton.
I just got denied from couch surfing.
So we didn't.
Oh well.
So we didn't get any of our.
Ooh, what did they say? Okay.
So to give you an update, we applied on the couch surfing app to a couple different places because we've been a little bit last minute in some of the places to find somewhere to stay. So the couch surfing app, it's literally called couch surfing, and people can put up their couches and for free to stay with them in different areas. So it's actually really helpful if you're like in a bind or you don't want to pay a lot of money. But there's also, of course, the risk of like you're sleeping at a stranger's house. So
totally. So this was my first time ever downloading the app and messaging people. I messaged 2 people today. One was a Thai guy. He looked really fun and adventurous. And another was a couple. So the Thai guy was not able because he just said he was really busy. And then the other couple was like, oh no, we have a lot of Airbnb guests. We thought that we changed the settings so that we can't house anyone. So it's a crazy busy time.
Fun to say Thai guy.
Thai guy. Tagaytay. That's a place in the Philippines.
That Thai guy.
Tagaytay. I went there. They have a really nice view of the Philippines. Okay. Yeah, so we came from Norman, Oklahoma.
Something about Oklahoma, like I was trying to say actually before you got that interruption with your message. But in Oklahoma, like I was saying, it's a red state, and I actually got multiple messages from people saying like, be careful in Oklahoma because they're really strict with weed. And so I was being cautious with my weed, but literally the moment we crossed the border, we talked about this in the last episode, but we saw like cannabis billboards, and there was I saw at least 5 or 6 Weed Maps billboards, and then like a dozen of other billboards for just cannabis companies that are in Oklahoma. But like one of the businesses supposedly has like 40 plus dispensaries all across the state of Oklahoma. I looked at Weed Maps too, and some of the weed does look pretty bunk, to be honest, but like I'm surprised how popular it seems that cannabis is, like maybe it's purely medical, but like I don't think they even allow medical cannabis in Oklahoma, so I don't understand how any of that is happening. And how are they buying advertisement space on billboards? Like if it's super illegal in their state, I don't understand.
Are you sure it's illegal or is it medically legal?
I mean, maybe it's got just medical and it's not decriminalized, but to my knowledge, it's completely not allowed. But from what I saw, it looks like it's medically legal. But it said nothing about medical or get your medicine. It was literally just like, weed this way, you know?
Interesting.
So yeah.
It says on Wikipedia, cannabis in Oklahoma is now legal for possession and use for medicinal purposes with a state-issued license, while CBD oil derived from industrial hemp is ...
Ah, interesting. And that was as of when?
I mean, this is Wikipedia. There's something 2 days ago from the Marijuana Business Daily saying Oklahoma medical marijuana program powered by growing patient rate.
Interesting. So yeah, Oklahoma getting their good portions of cannabis there now. So that was cool to see. But yeah, we got, other than the billboards, it was really fun to get to know my buddy Shiva from high school's grandma and his aunt. And I
Meena and Krishna.
Meena and Krishna. And I feel like I learned a lot actually about my friend Shiva by staying with his relatives, because Shiva and I have always been friends from like a young age. So it's like, I feel like we never, like when you meet people in college, for example, or beyond, you're like, oh, so where are you from? What do you do? What are your parents like? And we never went over that stuff. So it was cool to learn it.
They were very nice, and it was
so nice.
It was so funny because, you know, those people that are like so happy to just have people over and like almost like too accommodating, like that was them. It was like we ate a sandwich, for example, or like immediately when we got there, I mean, whatever we were eating, we were in the middle of like, you know, eating a sandwich, and then they'd be like, do you want another one? Do you want this cheese? Did you want like, are you good? Like,
or a funny example was like we just went out to breakfast.
Oh yeah.
We were at a museum. I think it was like 45 minutes later, and she's like, "Do you guys want to get food here?"
Are you hungry?
It was so funny. I mean, we're not complaining.
No, we're not complaining. It was so
awesome to have them.
Yeah.
Like,
they gave us a case of water.
Being super thoughtful and thinking about us. Like, I really, really appreciate that. But it was just funny sometimes because they're just waiting. Like, you need anything else? I'm right here. You want something? I'll give it to you.
It reminds me a little bit of my family in the Philippines.
It was fun though. It was like, it definitely, it made me feel like we just finished eating. They're like, do you want more food? Do you want anything of this? And it made me think of that actually, how you talked about the culture of the Philippines like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, they were sad that we weren't staying longer.
Yeah, as soon as we said we're leaving tomorrow when we arrived.
Yeah.
They were like, no, you stay. You stay.
Yeah.
And then they kept making the joke, like, stay longer, stay longer.
I know.
But it's okay. We showed up one more time than Shiva has this year, so
we're winning.
But really cool, actually. I think we will get Shiva to come back out to Oklahoma because Meena, who is Shiva's grandmother, her husband, who has since passed away, was a professor at Oklahoma University, and so they get like front row tickets to all the basketball games and football games and stuff. So I think we'll definitely come back to go to a basketball game front row, and it's gonna be lit. Actually though, because it's crazy. Mm-hmm. They're like super into sports. It's like all there is to do is like go to sporting events.
Yeah, so the only things that we really did there is we arrived there last night. We basically went to bed and
learned
then
a little bit about.
Oh yeah. We talked with them. We chatted. They had two cute little dogs.
Oh yeah.
One was a Chihuahua. One was a Pomeranian.
You're thinking maybe you don't like Chihuahuas, but dude, this Chihuahua Sammy was sick. He was sick. I feel like he was a mixture of something else too.
Right. So we hung out with them, just like getting to know how they came to the U.S. and their time in India. I honestly don't know much about India at all. So I thought it was really interesting to hear their perspective about living in the States, living in Oklahoma for 45 years in that same house. I thought was really interesting.
My uncle has been living in his same house for like 40-something years or even longer in South Carolina.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, you can just tell when someone's been living there for over 40 years.
Yeah, but and then we went to have breakfast at where Mina works, where she works at it's a hotel, right?
It's a hotel, but it's like the hotel where they host all of the United States Postal Service training, like seminars and weekends and conventions. So she's for the last like 25 plus years been a huge part of making sure that those trainings happen and helping train different like United States postal workers.
Really interesting. But yeah, it was a little buffet thing. Or not buffet,
she knows
but
5 different languages.
I think like dialects of Indian.
No, but I was asking, she's like, no, they're actually different languages.
Oh, okay.
And so they're like different dialects, but they're truly different languages. And she knows 5 of the Indian languages that are common in India. And so she's like really helpful to have in their business, because there's actually like a decent Indian population in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I did know that.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of Indian people in general, so like
She was saying that too.
Her being there to be able to converse with them is really solid and makes her valuable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we did that, and then we went to the Oklahoma Museum and learned about the Native Americans that lived in Oklahoma. I thought that was interesting.
Our roof bag is getting very loud, so I apologize.
Oh, did that just happen? I guess so. And then we pretty much left. We've just been trying to figure out Texas, which we're still in the middle of figuring out. So this is the first time that we've kind of been struggling on where to stay. We've been posting pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Looks like we might have to stay in a hotel, which isn't the end of the world. I just, it's gonna rack up.
Yeah, it'll rack up, but to be fair, we're a week in and we've paid for 1 hotel.
That is true. We've been very lucky, but it makes me a little nervous. But we're winging it. We're figuring out. Hopefully something will work out. And if nothing else, we download a hotel tonight that we can.
They're pretty cheap hotels, honestly. It's like $47 a night. It's not like it's going to be luxurious at all, but
right.
Dude, you got a room. That's all I care about.
Right. And I know what you're thinking. How did you budget for this trip? How much money are you guys making? How are you living?
Right. Good question.
Great question. I really wish that we had an estimated budget of how much money we're actually going to spend on this trip. We don't.
So Leia is a little bit like, she's right. We could have done a lot more financial planning on this trip.
Right.
However, that's not our specialty. First of all, like doing finances or budgeting or whatever. We have experience doing it. And so we did like a generic understanding of like, okay, I think we, in general, need $10,000 to get across the United States comfortably. So when we were trying to land clients to work with on this road trip, I just wanted to make sure that we were going to make like over 10 grand. And we definitely hit that goal. Like pretty easily, actually. We're over 15 grand.
I won't say easily, but
we're over 15 grand, so I'm satisfied.
Pat on the back to us.
Pat on the back for being able to afford.
We will definitely talk about that more, but I just figured that I want to like address it, because that's what drives me nuts about people that aren't necessarily like, oh, you just make ends meet. It's like, how do you do it?
Transparency is really important. I think people like hearing about how we're doing it.
Absolutely. That's why I feel like this podcast is an interesting, raw way to really talk about what we're going through,
Totally. What did we learn?
Okay, that was the next thing.
And as Americans and as business people. So I'll go first. I think as an American, I feel like we learned a lot more things as Americans.
Okay.
By talking with them.
Yes.
Because Mina, Shiva's grandmother, she was married to an American man who's like 6'2", and she's like a 5'
Indian woman.
So it's
Yeah.
like very different cultures and backgrounds, and they both had previous marriages actually. So it was really interesting to hear her perspective just on American culture and like what it was like, because she stays very up to date with India actually, and so it made me I felt like I got a little bit more connected to what India is like in a sense.
Right, of course.
So that felt cool. I felt like we got just like a dash of culture last night.
Oh, of course.
But as an American, I don't know, what did you learn as being, like, as an American?
Well, when we went to the museum, I thought,
Yeah, that was interesting.
Right.
That was fascinating.
When we went to the museum, we learned a lot about...
It was a museum of natural history at Oklahoma University, which is actually like a super prestigious museum.
I didn't know it was very prestigious, but...
It's prestigious. Michelle Obama was in some photo.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that.
I saw that, dude. Yeah, Michelle Obama was like, yeah, this natural museum is sick, so it must be sick.
If Michelle Obama says so, I believe it. But yeah, really interesting to learn about the people that were in Oklahoma way back when, learning about how, like, the state of Oklahoma came to be and how the Americans really pushed out
the Native
Americans. I mean, I got that sentiment over the years and have understood that, but I don't know, read about it.
You almost forget about it though, because I feel like it's not talked about in everyday American culture. It's like, it's literally
it's an afterthought.
Well, if you think about it, it's like you can, like, there's Indian reservations, you know?
Right.
There's Native American reservations, excuse me, and so it's like, it seems almost unfair that it's good they have their own land that they can call theirs. You know what I'm saying?
I want to learn more about it.
It's messed up that they only have that tiny little plot or whatever.
Right. I think it made me realize that I want to learn more about it. And they were talking about how, even in New Mexico, Jordan's mom was talking about how sometimes certain tribes have, like, open community dinners or something.
Right.
I would love to go and, like, be welcomed and, like, I don't know, just, like, share a meal with them, talk with them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never really interacted with Native Americans before, and I think that would be really cool to hear their story.
Yeah, and I feel like most people's experience with Native American culture is literally from the stupid Twilight movies. If you think about it.
From
like, most people have heard of the Trail of Tears and then the Twilight movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they, like, touch on it a little bit, you know. But
anyways,
yeah, I thought it was interesting looking at some of the different exhibits and how Native Americans were, like, a part of they owned all of Oklahoma, and then they're like, Oklahoma's a state, so then they literally just had to they just kicked everybody out. They just like, nope, sorry, this is now property of the United States. And there was, like, when the Louisiana Purchase happened, they said that there was going to be a large portion of permanent Native American land, and that obviously did not stand true. So it kind of bothers me a little bit, just because it's like, man, America started off by not being a man of their word or a person of their word, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, the only thing you really have in life is your word, and I think America screwed that up from the get. So it's like, you know, people talk about it, and I've talked about it before, but, like, America was born out of escaping, but then also destroying, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit disappointing. It's like, oh, the land of opportunity, the free land, but then we actually destroyed an entire group of people.
Yeah, I feel like in every culture there's some ugly parts.
I totally agree. But it's just unfortunate, you know?
Right.
Because it's like, we're Americans, and it's like, you want to be super patriotic, and we are, but it's like, fuck. I also feel that everyone deserves their opportunity to thrive and be happy and not feel like, oh my god, we're gonna fucking get murdered.
Okay, on a happier note, a takeaway as a couple, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, the patience is really just, like, the main recurring theme.
Yeah, we've been pretty cranky at one another, so.
Yeah.
Working on it.
Working on it for sure.
That's all we'll say there. And then as business people, let's see. I had this idea actually today that I didn't talk about. I think that for this road trip, maybe we should do like kind of weekly assignments or like weekly updates with our clients. Like, hey, here are all the product shots of the week. Let me know what you think. Like, hey, like this is where we're going next week. Like, let us know if you have any ideas. Like, kind of working on a week-to-week basis.
Just communicate.
Which is like pretty simple and fast.
I agree. I think more communication with our clients will only lead to more prosperous work.
Yeah, just like goals for each client. Like, okay, here we have
big American flag.
Here we have Color Wine, for example. What are our goals? Like, we want to get like 4 new locations and like hit up a model. I don't know. Like trying to, because now I feel like we're trying to balance so many things, like, you know, just have fun in general, like things of our personal projects.
I actually think since we didn't plan as well on this leg of our trip in regards to getting somewhere to stay, that's actually been a huge part of the logistic, like, work, is like just figuring out where we're gonna stay, and I feel like that's been taking away time from like editing and other stuff we could be doing, you know?
It's true. I mean, it's part, you know, this is the tricky part. This is a lot of the reason why a lot of people won't do something like this is because it freaks people out. I mean, I'm honestly surprised at how unfreaked out I'm at right now. I would never just like up and drive for 7 hours and not have a hotel booked. Like,
I mean, if I didn't have any money,
like, that's psycho.
I would be super worried if I didn't have any money and I didn't know how I was gonna make money on the trip. But I feel like we figured out how we're gonna make money on this trip, and we figured out what our route is. And we figured out like the purpose, the why, you know, like the whole reason why we're doing this is because we're relaunching our business, because it's 10 times more badass with our value proposition for social media documentary commercials. And it's a giant adventure to celebrate you graduating college. And we get an opportunity to actually make, like start the process of making a docuseries that maybe we want to sell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I think it's really cool to just also raise our level of consciousness by meeting all these different people all across the US, and then also understanding what it actually is like to be in the United States, you know? Mm-hmm. Because once we come back, man, I'm excited to just be a better person and like travel more, you know? I feel like this is making us really uncomfortable with being, or really comfortable with being uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. You know, and if you can be comfortable with being uncomfortable, then you can do anything.
And I think that I feel like I'm learning to just improv more. It's like, okay, well, that's not working out. Let me reach out to this person. Okay, well, you know, just kind of like going through things.
A sign fell off of the freeway.
Weird.
It's a big sign.
Anyways,
sorry.
I lost my train of thought now.
You were talking about how you're not afraid to just like reach out to other people if one thing didn't work, you know, being
right, just like kind of just like being focused in the moment and not getting upset, just like, okay, that didn't work out, next. Like, okay, what's the next best thing? And just kind of rolling with it and not getting like about it, which I can sometimes do.
And it's really what you're describing is practicing like productive failure, you know? It's like you hit some person up, and communication practices, because you hit someone up, you also just made a touchdown, and then they saw, oh, Leia reached out. That's so thoughtful of her. I'm actually unavailable right now, but now when I go to California, I'm gonna reach out to her. When I see she's traveling to some other place and I'm nearby, or I have a place near there, like, I'm gonna reach out to her. So even if you get a no, it's still gonna contribute, because the idea of sending out ships, think of it like you're sending out a ship into
planting
sea.
seeds.
Or you send out a ship into sea, you know? Some ships are gonna get lost at sea, but some ships are gonna come back with buried treasure, you know? Some will get commandeered by pirates, whatever, but like, some will come back with buried treasure.
Yeah.
Great stories.
I'm really not looking forward to eating sandwiches for dinner.
Me either, but I'm excited to not spend money.
I know. I feel like this is the first time where I'm like, we should really just eat it, but I really don't want to.
Is this having me get back on the freeway?
I don't. Maybe it's weird. I have no idea. Maybe it is, actually.
Oh, this mother.
Okay, let's wrap this up. So we talked about a couple business takeaways Anything else that you want to add about Oklahoma and our experience there? We got travel journals.
Oh, yeah.
Krishna was nice enough to purchase travel journals for us. That was so sweet of her. After
and Leia's magnet.
And my magnet. I found a really great magnet.
Have you talked about how you're going to get a magnet in all the states?
I feel like I have. If not,
that you travel?
If not, I'm getting a magnet. To update you all, I'm getting a magnet from everywhere. I'm gonna have a really cool fridge.
Our fridge is gonna be sick.
It's gonna be really cool. But yeah, we're getting travel journals. So this is something I actually started because I don't know if you're gonna do the same thing I do, but
probably not.
Probably not. But what I do is I did this because when I was studying abroad in Paris. No one has ever heard of that before. So I started doing this because of my photography teacher in Paris. And she was like, first day you need to get a travel journal, you need to love like the look of it, the feel of it, it needs to like fit in your purse, your backpack, wherever. And you're supposed to take it with you while you travel. Now it's not like a normal travel journal that you're like, dear diary, today I did this, like with the date or whatever. You actually collect kind of like tangible things. So for example, like we went to Meow Wolf, like I have that wristband that they put on me, so I'll snip it and I'll tape it. Or, you know, sometimes if I drink a really cool beer, I'll take the bottle cap and I'll tape it down. Or, you know, a museum ticket, or, you know, you get the point. But basically, when you look at it, you can kind of flip it and it has texture, it has feeling, it like really takes you back there, and maybe you ate at a certain restaurant but you don't remember what it was called, you know, grab their business card and like write about it. Because I think that's, I don't know, sometimes I used to journal like crazy as a kid, but now it's kind of more fun to be like collage-y and more like recap-like.
Right.
Because I don't have time to really like, today I did this and this and this and this. It's like, here the actual thing is, and it like brings back memories every single time I look at it.
To that point though, it's like, that's almost like why we're doing this podcast, because it would be nice to just be like journaling about how you felt afterwards. True. But then it's way easier to just talk about it.
Audio, baby.
Dude. Because
audio.
Yeah, I mean that would, it's cooler to look back at textures that remind you of things and feel, no, I don't want to be over there.
Well, that's what it's telling you.
No, it is not telling me to get into the left lane. That's how you turn left to go across the bridge. I want to go straight because I want to get back onto the freeway.
All right, whatever.
Leia doesn't understand how the navigation always works on Apple Maps because it tends to give, I guess, slightly misleading advanced directions sometimes.
And someone gets very frustrated at me.
She's talking about
okay, and where we're going next is Austin. We don't know where we're staying, but we're planning on having a lot of fun for 4th of July.
We're gonna get drunk.
We're gonna get drunk, and that's really all we have planned.
And we're getting back onto the freeway. The navigation just took us on an alternate route.
Oh, and look whose phone it was. Yours, not mine.
I'm not even complaining about it. I liked that it took me here, bro. You are misunderstanding. This is why you need to stop. You gotta listen to what I'm saying. I'm not even saying something derogatory about this navigation. I was actually complimenting it because it showed us how to hack traffic a little bit in Texas. Because in Texas, the on-ramps have like side highways, or the off-ramps have like side highways to get on and off the freeway, so that you have way more room to like gallop on and off. But it's like an actual highway on the side of the highway, so
dope.
Just kind of rode that for a second.
Cool. Well, we are heading to Austin, and after that we'll be going to Houston. So we are staying in Texas for a couple days.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't really know what to expect. This is a whole lot of we don't know what's going on. So hopefully we have an amazing time.
Yeah, we'll be taking some photos in Austin and Houston, so we'll be updating that, and hopefully I could maybe record my first episode of season 2 of the Bombcast soon, which is my podcast about people in cannabis. So if you
little advertisement there.
If you haven't actually heard of it or seen it before, you can see the season 1, the first 5 episodes on Anchor or any other platform that Anchor pushes content to, so you can listen to it on Spotify if you have Spotify.
Oh, we should
or Google Podcasts. And so, yeah, go ahead and check that out if you're into cannabis or want to learn about people in cannabis, because that's fun and I worked hard on it. So thanks for listening to this podcast.
I also realized that we never plug ourselves. So if you'd like to keep up with our adventures on where we're at right now, please follow Livin' as Leia and Matt Meredith, and also Cottonmouth Media if you like cannabis, and Unreal Stories. That's UNREEL Stories, where we will be updating all of our client work.
And she's talking about Instagram, by the way.
Oh yeah, who cares about anything else?
Facebook's really sick, and so is LinkedIn. And
All right,
so are a lot of other new
see you on the IG.
We'll see you on the IG, or we'll see you somewhere else. Bye!